Hey, what's up, y'all? This is April S. Jackson giving you an additional video. This video is dedicated to all the real men and the real fathers out there. Yeah, I am blessed to know what a good man is, what he looks like, and how he operates, because I had a good man in my life, and that's my father, and I'm blessed to have him as my pastor right now. But he wasn't always a saint. My dad, was a typical dad. He loved women. And he had typical guy issues that some guys go through. But he always loved his kids. He always claimed his kids. He never ever tried to deny any of his kids. He was never that type of dude. He had a kid. Believe me, he was owning up to that as a man should. My parents wasn't always together, but it didn't matter. I saw my dad every single day for the most part. Every single day. My dad told me from jump. It didn't matter who else my mom had in her life. As far as a man is concerned, you have one father, and that's going to be me no matter what. Didn't matter. Okay, that's my place. I'm your father, period, point blank. And he kept up. He kept up to his word. I always knew who my siblings were. He always was very forefront about everything when it comes to stuff like that. And as I got older, I realized that even more the kind of man my father was. Like, even if he was dating you, and you had kids, he would still take care of your kids, because while he was with you, and if he's going to be with you, he's going to be with the total package of you. And to this day, there's still kids out there that recognize my father as their own father, just because he played that strong role in their lives. And unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, because then I probably wouldn't have been here, but whatever. They went their separate ways, and until this day, they still have respect for that man as the man in their lives growing up. So I'm like, wow, to me that's pretty cool. To me that shows a lot of strength and character in a man. And I even tell you how cool my dad is. Listen, my dad, all right, my dad is that old school pimping. Okay, he believes that. Listen, he told me from when I was a little girl. He's like, if you're walking with a man and he can't open the door for you, you don't need to be walking with him. Straight up, you don't need to be walking with him. Period. Point blank. I was like, all right. Like, why is he telling me this? Whatever. As I get older, I understand. But as a little girl, I'm like, all right. That's just how he was. He opened doors and things like that, and he would always give his last dime, if he could. He's a very giving individual. But I have a lot of respect for him, even to this day, because I think back to all the turmoil that he and my mom had went through. And now, as a pastor of a church, he now has his wife and his baby mama worshiping together in the same building, worshiping under his leadership, under my father's leadership as a pastor. To me, that speaks volumes. That lets you know what kind of character he is and has always been. But also lets you know how great God is and what God can actually do. Okay? Because this was a place where there wasn't always peace in the same building. You know what I mean? There was always arguments and turmoil and craziness going on. So now that everybody's worshiping in the same building, I'm like, man, God is awesome. God can work miracles. But you have to be also a certain kind of man, or allow God to shape you to be a certain kind of man, to have that kind of respect, and to have that type of a lifestyle where everyone can coexist and live in harmony. You yourself have to grow as a man also. And, again, I'm really giving you my point of view from what I've seen as a little girl growing up and now a woman. I know what it's like. I know what it is to have a real man in her life. You know what I mean? So I just want to give a special shout out to my dad and to all the real dads out there that's doing what they're supposed to do every single day. You may not be perfect.